What's up, guys? How's it going? We are talking today about the AT1, the Yamaha that I have. So with this bike, finally got it started. I've got the carb back on. There's a little O-ring on the bottom of the main jet that lets in a certain amount of gas, and that O-ring was too small. I ordered it off eBay. The guy sent the wrong size, so I went to the hardware store, looked for the right size, found it, got it to put out the correct amount of gas. So I've been getting it started, and when I get it started, this bike, it would act as if it was loaded up, and it would shoot out a bunch of oil out of the exhaust, out of pretty much any place it could get out. A lot of it out of the exhaust, and even right out of the manifold. And so I'm like, all right, something's not right. So I wanted to do process elimination. I disconnected the oil pump because it still has it on it, and I drained all the oil out of it. So I wanted to make sure, it was not getting any more oil. Well, I'll post a picture. It was actually, what it was doing is I hung up all this plastic, and without the oil pump connected, I put oil in the gas tank, and I ran, and it was still having a ton of oil come out the back. Okay, next thing to check, transmission oil. And I just learned this personally, but if you have a seal that's bad inside the transmission, the engine, because it has those chambers at the bottom that suck in the air and then going down there, and then it goes up the top, and then it compresses, and then it shoots out the exhaust, those seals can go bad, and it can actually start sucking out the transmission fluid. And so what I did is I checked the dipstick. Okay, there's nothing on it. Poured, just doesn't matter at that point what oil I put in it. And I filled it up to the top fill line, and running it for maybe about 5-10 minutes, all of it was gone. Okay, let's try it again. Just make sure, fill it up to the fill line. Ran it for about 5 to 10 minutes, all of it's gone. So I have something to show you guys. Okay, so here's our side case. So you have to pull the side case to cover off, and you're gonna pull the clutch basket off. Then you're gonna have, right here is the plastic oil injector gear and the crankcase gear. And you're gonna have this seal. And this seal is what separates it from those chambers that I was telling you about. The seal was sitting right there when I pulled that gear off. Do you see how much of a gap that is? That's like half an inch away from that. That wasn't even on there. So no wonder it was sucking up so much oil. So that's the problem. Found it. This little seal right here. So I gotta get a new one of these seals. We'll get a new gasket, and we gotta get some gasket sealer because these ones need a little bit of it in certain spots. And we'll throw it all back together. We'll plug the oil injector back in, and this thing inside those chambers is probably gonna be still full of oil. I know the exhaust is, so I'll probably have to drain that. But yeah, I wanted to just show you guys really quick update on this. Sorry that I haven't been posting how-to videos on actually doing all this, but this is the basics of it. And hopefully when I get the new seal, I'll show you guys the install. I already put back the clutch basket, the gearing behind it, the gearing for the oil pump. Just gotta finish getting off the rest of the old gasket. Installed the new oil seal for the crankshaft. I just got the gaskets in for both the case covers, so we're gonna put this one back on, and we'll flip the bike over to the Magneto side, and we'll replace that same oil gasket for the crankshaft on the other side. Alright, so we now have the cover off, which it was 2 main screws and then 1 bolt in the middle, and you just slowly have to work it way off of this. So now I think this is the style where it has a starter and it charges at the same time. I think that's why it's like this. This particular copper piece though spins on the crank, and right inside there you'll see that those threads right there. So those threads right there are meant to thread in there, and then what it does is it pushes against the crank, because this whole main piece is pressed on there with a woodruff key that holds it on, and then that goes over it, and then you put the bolt through, so that's what keeps it on. But to get it off, you can't just pull it off. You can't use a pry bar. What we have to do is we have to put a we have to put a 10mm by 1.25 threads by 80mm, and it has to be all threads on the bolt, which is something that nobody locally makes or stocks. So we're gonna have to improvise, and what an old timer told me was you put a socket down in there, and then you put the bolt on top of it, and then you press it out. Because I have a bolt that's about half the length I need, and if I put this thing down in there, then at least it'll get me, you know, somewhat close. The only thing is, I gotta find a smaller socket than this. It's gonna be too big. So we'll keep searching. Alright, so good news and bad news. I got that copper piece off, and I put the new seal on there, put it back on, cleaned everything up. There actually is, right behind this plate right here, this gold plate right there, there is like 4 different metal pieces that ride on the copper, and that also powers other parts like the starter, and I'm assuming other things for charging. You actually have to put a pick right behind this piece right here in that hole, and you need to press against those, and then you push that piece down around that copper piece we had to take off. I'm sorry I didn't get the footage of doing it. I honestly finally got it off, which was with one of the bolts that I already bought. This is a 2 1/4. It's an M10 by 1.25. I don't need to know the millimeters of the length, but this actually got it off. I had to use an impact, and it just came right off. So I'm sorry I didn't do the footage, but that is the process how you do it. Put the bolt down in there, impact the copper piece off, put the new seal on, then you just press it on, make sure you get it right in that woodruff key, hit the hammer on the end a little bit, just gently, then you put the main hole cover behind this over that. Then there's a key right on this side that you need to line it up with. You line that up, and then you push in those little pieces that ride on that top piece like I was telling you about, right behind this metal cover. That comes on all the way. Then you thread this bolt right back in it, and yeah, we will put the gasket behind this piece. I also noticed that this the clutch cable was fraying a little bit, so we'll order a new one of those. And yeah, besides that, we'll put the cover back on and we will start it up, and I'm gonna do that in the next video. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.